There's so many ways in which we learn how to cope as human beings, and we all find very creative ways of doing it. But we also have to accept that that's what we're doing, and we have to accept that there's something there that needs to be addressed, right? And loved and worked through, and it's okay. It's totally okay. All right, ancestors, any other illuminations you would like to bring forth for the collective today? Anything else you'd like to illuminate for your sweetie pies on the other side? There we go. Oh, and it fell on the ground. Oh, geez, I almost fell off my stool. Jeez, that would have been bad. Rediscovery. Oh, that's beautiful. I'll look at the card after. I want to show it to you. It's your inner child. Hi, inner child. That's a terrible voice because my throat is so raw right now. It's not coming out the way that I was hoping, but you'll have to just deal with it. That's the way it is. All of that throat clearing really hurt my throat. Okay, so beautiful. Well, I mean, this is pretty clear. You're rediscovering this is the process to rediscovering your inner child, I'm hearing. It's part of the process. Because in order for your inner child to step through, who is the one who is going to create a beautiful life, going to help you. You don't want to just, put your wounded inner child in the driver's seat and give them the keys. You wouldn't do that to a 5-year-old, like, hey, go drive the car, drive me around. No, but your inner child is calling for your attention, which is why it's getting louder, I heard. Whatever patterns are coming up for you right now, it's because your inner child's like throwing a temper tantrum in a sense, or feeling so overwhelmed, or feeling so burdened, or so hurt, or so scared that they're trying to get your attention. And so the noise is getting louder right now. And you may be trying to cover up this noise with other things even more right now, or wanting to. Maybe you've backed away from some of these things, these patterns, but they're looming in the background, calling your name, tempting you, right? And your inner child's coming forward, or the ancestors are bringing you this message that your inner child is just trying to get your attention because they're hurting, or they feel unsafe, or they want you to reconnect with them and allow the merging of the two of you to happen by when you go into these emotions and this acceptance and you start to heal that, your inner child is right there. And it was your inner child, again, these lower chakra colors, right? Your inner child was the one who was carrying these wounds and being neglected by maybe you putting your focus on other things. Self-neglect is also self-neglect to your inner child. Addiction is a form of self-neglect. Working too much is a form of self-neglect. Not balancing our lives, not giving our bodies or our minds or our spirit or our inner child the balance that it needs, or the love and acceptance that they need, right? And so this is about a unification between the two of you. And it's about self-empowerment, I'm hearing. It's not just about healing that part of your wounded child, but it's about a unification and allowing. Oh, I just got brought back to this joy card. I have goosebumps. It's about allowing that part of your inner child to come forward because they then feel safe enough to feel joy. Because right now the conditions are as such that it's not safe for them to come out and play. It's not safe for them to feel joy or to feel excitement or to feel passionate, right? It's not safe for them to come out and play because whatever your situation is and whatever you're dealing with here with the grief and the sadness and the level of acceptance that needs to come forward based on past traumas creates an environment where it's hostile. And maybe this is self-inflicted hostility. Maybe this is a hostile environment that you're currently in, right? Three is a crowd. Or who do you have in your inner circle who you thought was your friend or who you thought you could trust, but turns out that you couldn't. They were against you in some way, shape, or form. They weren't for you. It creates too much hostility for your inner child to come out and express that joy, which, again, it disrupts your harvest from coming in. So you're creating blocks for yourself by, I want to say avoiding, but that's not going to be true for all of you, I heard. But by being too scared to feel the emotions is mainly what I'm hearing. The emotions behind the acceptance. So there is a denial of self. And when we deny ourself, we're denying our inner child as well. And our inner child only wants to be unified with us, only wants to be held, loved, accepted, validated, made to feel safe. And so your inner child's coming through for that very reason to say, like, this is a full cycle. Um, this is, how do you want me to put that, ancestors? Okay. They're illuminating a full cycle here, a pattern that's been repeated time and time again. That every time that you break your trust with your inner child by following through in the same cycles of behavior, that it puts more distance between you and your inner child, and it puts more distance between you and your manifestations and your gifts and your abilities. And then, in that sense, what it does is that it then leads you down a negative spiral or rabbit hole emotionally or mentally, where you then may be taking that out on yourself and then more regret or more unease or unhappiness or anger or whatever emotions are blocking you in this cycle come forward, which then lead to this trauma response once again, which then hurt your inner child. And the whole point is to unify your inner child. And this is the lesson, is what I'm hearing. This is the lesson right now. And it's not just about unifying your inner child, it is really also about what you're stepping into. And so I guess the message is, do you want to close the door to this chapter? Because you have the opportunity to shift right now and to experience synchronicities and to experience all of the things that you've been waiting for, including your new beginning. But it's going to take a level of understanding how to move through this cycle, which is why the cycle is being illuminated for you at this time, and how that then reconnects you with your inner child so that you are empowered instead of disempowered. You can feel joy because it's safe. You've created that safety within yourself. You can say no to behaviors that are harmful to you and your inner child because you have taken back your power and your strength. So you have the opportunity to do that right now, they're saying. But you have to do the work to make it happen. And you have to still say no to the things that are not serving you, including the people, places, and things, and maybe old ways of being that don't serve you, and putting up boundaries and accepting what results from that, even if it feels like a loss. Accepting that this is just a part of the path to your higher enlightenment, to your healing, and that the rewards of that healing and the people and the situations, the synchronicities and the harvest that you get to bring into your life because you've done that healing and that integration are going to far outweigh all of the things you used to be doing, or the loss you feel you've left behind, or whatever it is you feel you're losing, or the emotional baggage that you're holding on to, even if it's not immediate, I'm hearing. Even if you don't immediately see something, just be patient because it's coming. And healing and closing the doors to things is a process. It's not going to happen like one and done. So be consistent, is what I just heard. Be consistent and love yourself. Put yourself first and your needs first. All right, ancestors, which deck would you like me to go to next? Actually, the other thing I just heard was with this card, bringing back to this card itself, is that 3 is a party. 3 is too many. And so any energy or person who is trying to connect themselves to you in your new beginning is too much. Your focus should just simply be on you and spirit. So anything beyond that that is trying to hold on to your energy, or that you're holding on to, that is actually causing interference in your life in some capacity, whether that be in the physical realm, the material realm, the spiritual realm, the energetic realm, the emotional realm, or all of the above. It's too many. And so there should be no other energy but yours and spirit's, your connection to the divine and yourself going forward into this new timeline. And that's why they want you to be very cautious and attentive to what energies are connecting to you at this time and what it is that you're needing to let go of, in order to create that boundary and the disconnection between you and that energy, right? So going forward, it's really important to be discerning as to how other people's interference or other energies, entities are connecting to you still at this time, and to clear that path so that your connection and your vibration are aligned with your future, which is really important that you understand that your connection to the divine is the only one that is worth or able, allowed to step forward into this new timeline with you. And so you have to disconnect in any capacity that you possibly can and create distance and walls and boundaries as to what you're going to allow in, because if it connects to your energy, it does prevent you from stepping forward. The ancestors just want to make it very clear that you cannot step into this new timeline with that energy connected to you. So a cleansing of yourself, purging, is required in order to create this energetic shift within you and externally to you. All right, so I'm going to actually I'll close it off with that deck. Let's get a few messages of encouragement from your ancestors. What messages of, oh, okay, that's too many. What messages of encouragement do you have for the collective ancestors? Please and thank you. Okay. And to add to this one, what messages of encouragement do you have for the collective, please? Okay. Wow. I think these three cards exactly may have come out in another reading. At least these two did. But I'm pretty sure this one did too. So that's crazy. So, um, what I'm getting from this, what I'm hearing is that it is time to close out this chapter. I'm seeing family dynamics here, decision and fear, control. I'm also seeing family dynamic reconciled, passion ignited, and desire. So you do have a desire to reconcile what it is that happened to you in the past. And but it's creating like this fear and this need to control or this need to hold on to something, because there is so much fear of what's on the other side. And it's the fear itself that is, it's got a stranglehold on you right now, allowing you to be connected to this energy, right? Allowing your vibration to lower and to be distorted, and your thinking to be distorted, right? And so again, it comes down to, are we making decisions based out of fear, or are we making decisions that are connected to our heart space? And this comes down again to this level of acceptance and facing the fear. What's beneath the surface of that fear? There's some sort of wounding that is keeping you connected to that lower vibrational energy or entity or person. And so you have you have a desire to face it, but you're going to have to find the courage and the strength to go into it. Understand that whatever is manifesting in your life right now as a situation, or your trauma responses for dealing with it or avoiding that pain, is coming from your woundedness and your fear. And so, although you have the desire to close the cycle, they're encouraging you to really find the time, carve out the space and the time, and have the courage to really face it. Because the fear, if you allow it, your wounded inner child, will overcome you and will lead you down negative, harmful, self-harmful pathways, and will continue to keep you in this cycle until you're ready to actually face it, until you do choose to face it. And so what I'm really hearing is that, if you choose to do this, if you choose to sit down with yourself, you're going to accelerate your timeline. You're going to like quantum leap. That's what I just heard. You're going to have a quantum leap. And so there is no, there's fear, but you need to assess whether or not that fear is justified or real. And I'm not saying that your life circumstances aren't real. That's not what I'm saying, but I'm also saying what they're saying is that you cannot bypass this cycle because this cycle will continue to come forward harder and harder until you learn the lesson. And until you face your fears and reconcile what was and not live in the regret or the fear of not knowing what the future is, right? And also with this passion ignited and your desire, this reunification with your inner child. And, you see the little child in here too, in this family dynamic. It's about whether you are dealing with a specific person or a group or family directly or not. It's not about bringing closure with the other person. This is for you. This is for your reunification, for your inner child, reparenting your inner child, reparenting yourself in the way that you never received. Thus, you brought in situations and experiences that reflected that childhood experience of feeling unsafe in some capacity. And so, by doing that, by reuniting with your inner child and healing these family dynamics, this could be a relationship, because again, a lot of our relationships stem from childhood. Not always, but there's usually some part of us that does from our childhood, right? Maybe not your whole childhood, but some part of us that is wounded. And by doing that, by reconciling this fear, by reconciling whatever emotions lie beneath your ability to accept the situation and where you are right now, you will also allow passion to be reignited within you. And you'll find that your energy will uplift, your health will improve, your finances will improve, your path ahead will improve. You'll attract all these synchronicities that are already lined up for you. Your ancestors and your spirit guides have already aligned these for you, as they said before, but they're waiting for you to take the next step. And it's going to require a leap in a direction that is causing you fear. And it's going to require you to really tap into that courage or find the courage within you, which you may not see existing at this time because of the level of fear involved in letting go or healing it or facing it. Thank you for that answer first. Oh, okay, so we'll get two more messages of encouragement before we close off the reading. Okay, and one more. Whoa, two more. Okay. My guides were messing around with me while I was shuffling. I was like, uh, I asked for two more, and they were like, nope, you're just getting one. And I'm like, really? They said, no, we're just kidding. We'll give you another one. Okay, so the first card that we have is those difficult times will pass. Nothing bad lasts forever. The sun will shine again, the birds will sing, and the clouds will clear. And you will be glad you kept moving forward. You will soon be rewarded for your patience. Hold on. You are far stronger than you think. Hmm, beautiful. And that's something that's really important to remember. I know that in my most difficult times in my life where I felt like completely giving up on everything and everything in life, that became my mantra while I was dealing with the worst of my complex post-traumatic stress disorder. I had to tell myself, sometimes minute by minute, I just have to get through this minute. It's not going to be like this forever. If I just get through this minute, maybe the next minute will be better. And that's how I literally got through the first year of that. And it's a good thing to keep in mind that, the darkness doesn't last forever. It lasts as long as we allow it to, though, right? The difficulty is knowing when to put an end to it. That's your discernment. When to recognize that this is self-induced and that we can alleviate the pain and the suffering that we're experiencing in our lives by allowing ourselves to heal it, to accept it, to move into it, to integrate it, and to become more whole. And when we choose to take steps forward, even if they're micro steps, we're still choosing to move forward. If you don't choose, if you choose not to make any choice, then that is still a choice. And you're choosing then to stay stuck in a place where maybe you don't actually enjoy being in that pain or that darkness or that suffering or your inner child screaming at you and making it more and more apparent that you really need to look at whatever it is that's coming forward for you. That's a great message of encouragement. Thank you, Spirit. All right, the next message is you are not moving too slowly. Drop the self-induced pressure. You are at the sweet spot between taking care of yourself and still making advancements on your goals. On this path, there is no such thing as being behind. Smile, breathe, carry on. All right, so there may be some doubt. Um, Maybe you're feeling as though you are falling behind or that you have fell behind, and everybody's path is completely unique in where you are, even though we're working as a collective. Some people are coming into the collective today, very first day, right? Some people have been in a collective for 4 or 5 years. So your path is unique to you, and everything happens in divine timing. If you were not ready to face this or let go in the past, then you shouldn't berate yourself or take yourself down for that or feel as though you have fallen so far behind. What's the point, right? And it doesn't even matter if it is to do with being on this path or, oh, I'm hearing about regret. Maybe this ties into these feelings of regret about decisions that you should have made or could have made had you known what the future held, or the decisions that you did make that took you farther away from maybe your goals and objectives or your skill sets or whatever it is now. And so it doesn't matter where you are in life, what age you are, how far you've come. The fact that you are taking these steps forward is the thing that they want you to focus on, and that it'll happen in the time that you allow it to happen. It'll happen in the time that is divine for you, that is right for you. And this is just guidance to help you along your way, but you're not falling behind so long as you take even one step forward every day in the right direction. You're good. Okay? Make sure you don't start seeing yourself through the eyes of those who don't value you. You need to know your worth, even when others don't. You are not what people think. Okay. So for some of you, what I got with that is that the self-doubt that's been coming through in this reading. This is coming from old wounds. This is coming from dynamics in the past, maybe a relationship or a friendship. Maybe it was your family relationship or a family member where you were possibly criticized or made to feel less than, or whatever created these insecurities within you. And you could be experiencing this in the physical world with a person right now, where every time you're around them, you feel less than, or you feel unworthy, or you don't feel seen or appreciated or loved or respected. Um, or this could be happening as a residual effect of living like that with somebody in your life, right? So it's really important to remember that regardless if it's in the physical or in the residual, meaning like ruminating or going back to maybe arguing in your mind, like creating an argument with a somebody who's not even right there, but like what you would say, or like a rumination, right? Or a need to stand up for yourself. So whether you're playing that out physically or just with yourself, that it's really important for you to understand that that's coming from a wounded aspect of you. And so that may be a part that you also need to look at for whomever this is for, that you may also need to look at that and assess, like, is there a need for me to continue to explain myself or to fight? Or, that could be part of this energy over here, this disruption, is that there's an aspect of you that still feels like you need to prove yourself, that still feels like you need to fight or engage in that, even if it's with an imaginary person in front of you. And I'm not saying that that you should avoid doing that if you're going into the abyss, into your shadow to express that. No, that's totally okay, right? But if it's coming up outside of doing your work, your inner work, your shadow work, then that's an indication that you have a wound there, and you should look at that wound and see where the original source is and how that is affecting the way that you are moving forward with your own energy today, how that is attaching itself to you energetically, and then how that blocks you and affects you, right? And yeah, remember, I mean, other people don't have to see you in the way that you see yourself. But if they aren't capable of seeing you in that way, then you need to address whether or not these are people that you should be having in your life or be connected with if they can't perceive you for who you truly are and love you for who you truly are. And the other thing would be, to also, if you're doing this to yourself, become aware of what's triggering you. Because if you're doing this to yourself, then it's no longer the people in your past who are kind of controlling you in this way, I guess. Now, this is an aspect of yourself that you are taking yourself down with, and it is a wound, right? And it is needing to be explored and accepted as a part of your shadow, your hurt, disassociated shadow side that needs to be reintegrated and loved, and to catch yourself every time that you do that and not berate yourself, not tear yourself down, but instead to lovingly accept that that is coming from a wound, and to be patient with yourself and to show yourself extra compassion and maybe forgive yourself because wherever you picked up this wound, it wasn't it wasn't your fault, is what they're saying. It wasn't your fault. So don't be hard on yourself. Love yourself through each moment that comes up because it's just there as your teacher. That hurt is just there to teach you. And that's why we've brought in situations and people into our lives because they're a reflection of the hurt and the pain that we have inside. And that hurt and that pain is drawing certain lessons into our lives so that we can learn and heal those parts of ourselves, right? Trust the wait. You are being prepared for your blessings. In order to receive, you have to be ready to receive. Yeah, makes sense. Things you're going through now are not random. Trust the flow of the universe. Yeah. So faith, trust was coming through in the beginning. And there is always a purpose to what it is that we're experiencing. And, your ancestors are coming through to illuminate some aspects of how this cycle works and how to possibly close it and how to rediscover yourself in the process and disconnect from anything or anyone who is not allowed to step forward with you, right? So this is happening so that you can finally make that disconnection and finally reintegrate this aspect of yourself by healing or forgiving or loving or accepting yourself or others or the situations as lessons. That's what they were meant or intended to be in your life and learning the lessons along the way. Sometimes it does require us to wait to be in this period where everything might seem like it's up in the air. You might feel lost. You might feel directionless. Again, the void, right? You might have no idea because your vision is not clear anymore and it's possibly distorted in what's coming or what to even manifest or what to hope for or what to be joyful about, right? If there are things blocking your vision or blocking you from understanding this lesson, then you're going to be put in a waiting period where you have enough time, despite what reality is showing you, because you're protected. They want you to know that you're protected. You are safe. Just don't make any rash or crazy decisions that are going to negatively impact you, right? But you're going to be in this waiting period for a little while to see if you can overcome this cycle. So you're being given some grace, I just heard. A little bit of grace. Not a whole lot, because they want you to still actually focus on it and not procrastinate on it. But you're going to be given a little grace period here to see if you can um, finish this cycle now that they've brought it forward for you and see if you can reintegrate this aspect of yourself. So that's beautiful. Okay, I'm going to get 2 angel cards. Call upon the angelic realm and the archangels, and I ask that you please provide us with 2 messages from the angels to the collective, please, and thank you. Right there. We got 3. Okay, so we have 2424, good times. Leisure, rest, holiday, pleasure, love, affection, kindness, happiness. You are worthy of affection, leisure, and pleasure. If you tell your family and friends how you feel, you'll find that you're all on the same page and can work together effectively. Many people are rooting for you. If you spread love, it will find its way back to you multiplied. All right, so there may be this feeling like you have to overcompensate or put in too much effort, or maybe you have to work really hard in order just to scrape by or to survive. And they're coming through to remind you like this is all about balance and it is all about being receptive to the energies, right? So allowing yourself to receive rather than chasing. So rather than pursuing and going after in the way that you used to, the things that you want, you are being asked to balance your life and be more receptive. But of course, as they said, you have to be open to receiving to receive. So, so that means that part of this is about understanding that the work that you put into yourself also puts you into an alignment that makes it really easy for these opportunities and synchronicities to come towards you. Otherwise, you're blocking yourself. But you do deserve, you are deserving. That's very clear. They want me to say that loudly. You are deserving of rest. You are deserving of fun, of pleasure, of love and affection and happiness, not infection, um, and of just having a good life in general, from what I'm hearing. So if you're feeling unworthy of that and you're feeling like things aren't working out or they're not aligned, it's because of this cycle. It's blocking you and your attachment to whatever or whomever is connected to that, right? But good times, you're worthy of them. You're worthy of good in your life because you are good. Okay. Angel number 777. Good luck. Contentment, prosperity, abundance, spiritual awakening, divine intervention. This message is most likely to reach you during intense uncertainty. You'll come out winning from everything that may come your way. It's also a sign that you have much life experience and wisdom to share. Yet you'll need enthusiasm and effort to get this message to others. Yes. So again, the effort needs to be put in for your desire and your inner child, the healed inner child, to come out in order to really enjoy your life, because you can't see the joy in your life. You can't see the goodness in your life when you're constantly in a state of fear and uncertainty, right? And you do have messages to share with others, or healing, or some aspect of yourself that needs to be shared with others, but you need to raise your vibration to be able to enact that transfer of healing, regardless of how it comes through. Everything that we are gifted with and talented with is a form of healing. Now, you may not be everybody's medicine, just like everybody is not your medicine. But whatever you have to offer does come with a level of healing. And that's why it's so important for us to raise our own vibrations and, um, heal ourselves so that the expression of that healing can come through whatever it is that we are providing to other people, even if it's just through a smile. They'll feel that. And that's the point of this path. That is the point of being on this path and being whatever you resonate with, a healer, a starseed, a psychic medium, an earth angel, chosen one, whatever word you want to put to you and your path. But that can't be felt, that cannot act as healing or medicine unless you have raised your own vibration. And I'm not saying you're here to heal everyone. You're here to heal yourself. And through doing that, you naturally heal others. So hopefully that makes sense. And then we have 000, limitless potential. Rest, relaxation, unknown, surrender, finish line, success, victory. It serves as a timely reminder that anything can be accomplished. If you can dream it, there is no reason you can't make it reality. If something is in the possession of another person, it is also available to you. So try to remain calm. What's meant for you won't pass you by. Let go of tension. Relax. Yeah. So again, this is coming down to fear or doubt. I heard skill sets earlier. Maybe you're feeling like you're lacking certain skill sets or abilities or gifts or talents, or maybe you don't know what your strengths or weaknesses are. Maybe you need to go and make a list of that. But there seems to be a lot around that coming through in this reading. And so, you're not limited. You're only limited by the thoughts that you allow to limit you. And so if you think that you don't measure up to somebody else, or you're comparing yourself to others, or you're telling yourself these negative things, then that is how you are limiting yourself. And yeah, maybe you don't have certain things that other people have, but it doesn't mean that you cannot achieve that or achieve it even without, say, um, some of the things that they've had to do in order to gain that, right? Everybody's path is different. So if there's something you truly want, you're being asked to shed the idea that it's impossible for you to attain because of um, maybe a lack of something. There's a lack of something that you're feeling here. So understand that it's possible to attain that. And if others can, so can you. You're only limited by the way in which you choose to limit yourself. Okay. Now, last but not least, I'm feeling roomy today. And this has been a really long reading, so I am probably going to chop it up into two. And then it'll be a little easier to consume. I don't know. I've been doing long readings lately, so a lot of information's been coming out. They really want you to um, receive this information, so it's important. I don't mind doing it. This is one of the highlights of my day when I get to sit down and do readings for the collective. So hopefully you're enjoying it too. Yeah, I'll take that. I have seen everything. I have no fear. I have the heart of a lion. I shine like Venus. Rumi. So have no fear. The path that you have traveled has been long, yes, but you have learned a lot. You have integrated a lot, and you have an immense amount of love, gifts, talents, and abilities that the universe, source, your guides all want you to be able to share and prosper from. Not just financially, but abundantly, like with every aspect of you. That it brings in so much joy and love and excitement, passion. I already said excitement. Pardon me, and material abundance. But your focus should not be on the material. It should be on your alignment with your passion and your excitement, your highest excitement and your highest joy and happiness, right? And if it brings you that, then it will in turn provide for you. But again, that might not happen in the timing, first timing that you're like, I need it to happen now, right? So there's a level of acceptance once again. But you've been down this path for quite some time, and or even if you haven't, you've been down life school path, what I'm hearing. You've been in life school long enough that it's time to eliminate that fear and really harness that self-confidence in knowing and trusting that no matter what comes, you've been through enough that your foundation should not be rocked any longer, not to the capacity in which it used to be able to be rocked. Now, you might be feeling that way because there's something screaming for your attention right now called your inner child. There's something that is affecting your foundation that needs to be addressed so that nothing will ever shake it again. And this is kind of that last, well, maybe not last, but the last major step to your foundation. That does not mean that um, healing won't come forward that needs to be healed because we're never done healing. It took however long you've been alive today to create those wounds. It takes a while to heal too. So be patient with yourself. And it's a cycle. But whatever this is really affecting your foundation and really preventing you from stepping into the next part of your journey, your new beginning. So have no fear, right? You have the heart of a lion. Maybe you need to watch the Wizard of Oz, right? That's a good one for that. Anyhow, collective, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If it resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up. That does really help my algorithm. If you would like to like me to channel more specifically into your energy to get more messages that are very specific to you, then feel free to leave a comment. Do let me know if any of these runes turned backwards. Because then if that's the case, I will actually read the reversed definition. Well, I won't read it, but I will implement it into the comments section for you. And otherwise, if you're new here, feel free to subscribe, join our awesome community, our vibe tribe here, where, we all get down with spirit and we figure out which direction we need to head into next. I love you all so much. I hope you have an amazing day. And part two is actually there's not even a point of me saying that because you're not going to hear that on the first part of the video. But generally speaking, if the video is going to be broken up into two, then what I'll do is I'll put part one out on, today, and then I'll put part two out for tomorrow. Okay? That way you can get the whole reading and it won't be like 2 hours long for you. Okay. Love you. Have a fabulous day. See you in the next reading.